Hi, I'm Violet, an ADHD, that is, autistic and ADHD intuitive healer who's practicing to become a spiritual counselor and hopefully one day avid advocate against child psychological abuse. So I integrate knowledge of decolonial psychology, transpersonal psychology, spiritual concepts, and energy work to elucidate subconscious patterns that hold my clients back, empowering them to hopefully overcome these patterns and move towards more authentic and fulfilling lives. So as you can probably tell, I was reading that off my description. I've had this account for several years and I've not posted anything besides a couple of crystal videos. I was actually hoping already to start my practice back then, but I just still had a lot of subconscious blocks holding me back. So I think it just wasn't the right time, and also I was going through uni. But I do feel like I've changed quite a bit, and I'm ready to put myself out there. So that's what I'm doing. And while I did have a script back then, well, I did have a video. It was fully scripted, and so I just looked really stilted and unnatural. And I realized that's not the image I want to be putting forth. Although it is a bit ironic because I did actually post. I'm trying to go on tangents, but I'm neurodivergent. That's kind of the point. So I'm just gonna let myself yap. But I did actually film a practice self intro yesterday, and I felt like that went really well. But I was barefaced, and there's this perfectionistic part of me is like, no, I want to look really nice for my first video, and then all subsequent videos, I'll look like I just rolled out of bed because that's probably what happens. But I don't know. I'm just gonna roll with it and see what happens, I guess. So more about, well, I guess one thing I'd address is that although I'm technically um using the term spiritual counselor, I consider myself a counselor first and foremost. I do tend to take a very spiritual approach to things, and I do incorporate, like, you know, more unusual things if that's what my client wants. It's not really necessary, it's more like I just enjoy it. So things like tarot, astrology, and I am reaching a point in my life where I want to be able to say that with my chest without fear of people coming at me and being like, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit, and like you're just like taking advantage of vulnerable people. And to that, I really want to say that it's kind of the same with drugs. And yes, I am going to freaking talk about drugs in my self intro video. Like, I was the president of the Psychedelic Research Society, so there's clearly something I'm very passionate about. But in the same way that the only thing that's going to protect people from drugs is education about drugs instead of just banning it. It's kind of the same thing with psychic work. Like, yes, there are a lot of charlatans out there that prey on the vulnerable, but the antidote to that isn't telling people that psychic work is all crap. Like, there's charlatans in every field. I just feel like the psychic world gets such a negative rep for no reason. Because of colonization. Like, I'm going there. I'm going to say it. Colonizers took over and completely demonized this aspect of our heritage. Like, not even, it's not even unique to just native population. Well, everyone, like, if you think about it, was native in some way and somehow, but colonization happened, right? And it took over our academia, took over our education, and told us how to look at the world and what's allowed to be deemed valid. I guess it's going to be actually a separate video. You know what? Forget it. My self intro, I'm going to post the one of me looking barefaced because this is not working. But I want to say that the only way we're going to be able to tell apart who's a charlatan and who's preying on us is if we work on our own intuitive ability so we can tell them apart. I just think it's kind of ridiculous to shit on people for practicing these things. And low key, it's a little like, it's a bit of a roundabout way of saying that it is kind of actually racist. And a lot of your ancestors, like, okay, I try not to like overly conflate terms, but most of us, our ancestors, had some kind of shamanistic background to them. They have access to other realms, ways of contacting spirits and reaching out to them for wisdom. And I do harbor a deep frustration that just because, I mean, I will have talked about it in my first intro video where I was barefaced, comfy in my blankie, okay, that it's because of capitalism. Like, we can't see the direct link on how, I don't know, being able to talk to spirits is going to yield profit. So that's why I know it sounds, well, I mean, if you think it's conspiratorial, just click off. I don't got time for shit, honestly. Like, this is just my position, and like, why I am choosing to incorporate it, I guess. So I guess that's all I have to say.